Hello, colleagues. Hello, friends, and welcome to The Corporation, the podcast that's too fun to fail. I'm your host, Dean Ardenfell, coming at you from my quarantine in my basement studio apartment. Each week, I call up two employees of Hogswood-Cooper Media, the worldwide conglomerate that owns everything from nuclear power plants to casinos. Together, we'll learn about and celebrate the folks who work for the many subsidiaries of this remarkable company. As always, I'm required to state that I am not employed by Hogswood-Cooper. But boy, am I a fan, and I think you're going to be too. So let's get into it, shall we? My first guest is the project manager for FlagStrong, a contracting firm recently awarded a multi-billion-dollar contract to build a wall through a particularly difficult 90 miles of territory on the U.S.-Mexico border. She keeps thousands of details in her head every day, and in her spare time she enjoys sewing her own doll clothes. Please welcome Imogen Shemp, everybody. Hello, Imogen.
Hello, Dean. Hello.
It's fabulous to have you here. Thank you for being here. To make the time to talk to me, I mean, you've got to have a lot of stuff in your head trying to get this project done.
Yes, I keep everything in my head and nothing gets outside of it.
Oh, so you don't use like project management software even? You just keep it all in your head?
The best project managing software I've found has been my own brain and my own ability to think things better than other people.
Wow, so much to retain there. That's got to be, but I guess you're in the business of retention in the wall biz.
Yes, that's exactly right. Better in than out. That's what I always say.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're responsible for building a wall to keep us safe through some of the most hostile terrain in the country. That's got to be a big challenge, huh? What are some of the challenges in that?
I would say that a lot of the challenges are the people saying, no, or don't do that. But, I find that the best part of a challenge is proving people wrong. Or doing what you want anyway is another way I put that. People say no, and some would call that a stubborn mindset, but that's just tenacity, really, right? Some of the most brilliant minds in history could have been called stubborn, but I chose to hear that they were called brilliant minds of history instead.
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of brilliant minds of history out there that people said, stop, don't do that, that's hurting people. And
Absolutely.
They did it anyway, and look at them now.
And they did it anyway. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I hope that people will say that about Imogen Shemp one day, that people said, stop, no, don't do that, but she did it anyway.
I'm sure that they will. I know you started with plans to build a 50-foot high concrete wall. And that's been, that's what the project was funded on. Yes. And then it's been gradually downsized to something like, in some places, a little more than a chain link fence. So, but that's sometimes necessary, right? Sometimes you have to change your project on the fly.
Sometimes you have to be adaptable so that people will say, see, she's not that bad. And then when they give you an inch, you go ahead and take the rest of the mile. And sometimes more. Yeah.
Right. They give you an inch, you take 90 miles.
You take 90 miles. Absolutely.
Right. Sure. So what's it like when you have to, I know that, that particular stretch has got wildlife reserves and private land, yes. And there can be a lot of obstacles to overcome. What's your strategy in making sure that you get what you need to build that wall?
I get my hair cut in a very pointy, angular style that intimidates a lot of people.
Really? Interesting.
Yes,
I had no idea that was a thing. You could actually intimidate people by your own hairstyle.
You can. You ever see a lady with a short, pointy haircut? You don't mess with her. And so I go and get my hair cut real pointy, and I put on walking shoes with a fierce lady suit. And then I march down to the site, and I say, who has a problem with this? Who? You tell me who. And everybody keeps quiet. So.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And so I know that there is some in-person intimidation that is necessary sometimes to get some things done. But I know also there's some behind-the-scenes things that need to be done. Eminent domain to try to take the land that you need to. I mean, what people don't realize is that we all have to sacrifice for our freedoms, right? And so if you've got property on the U.S.-Mexico border,
give it to me.
Sometimes you have to give that up for our personal,
yes.
for our freedoms.
That's right. I said give it to me, but in that case, me is America.
The royal we, sure.
The royal we, right. Mm-hmm. So I speak of myself and our country as one and the same, because aren't we?
Right, aren't we? And
aren't we, Dean?
And I'm sure that when the bulldozers come and people are forced off of their property, I'm sure that they see it that way too.
We slap an American flag on top of the dozer and we play the national anthem real loud so everyone knows what we're doing this for.
I wanted to mention that because it does. I have heard stories that sometimes the bulldozer will show up before you have legal right to take their land and blare the national anthem in the middle of the night over the course of many weeks. Is that a tactic that works as well?
Everyone loves a surprise, Dean. Everyone loves one.
Yeah. And you've also, I see here that there have been some wildlife refuges that you've gotten them recertified essentially as like public land so that you can go in there and put the wall through that, right? It's just incredible what you can do when you put your mind to it.
Having more legs doesn't give you more right to the land. So
having more legs?
Yeah, like animals sometimes right? They have 4. So it doesn't matter. Move it. Right. Coyote, fox, eagle. It's mine.
Coyotes, foxes, and eagles, unfortunately, don't understand the importance of a secure border. No,
they're dumb.
Sure. I want to find out a little about you personally. Other than the angular haircuts and the refusal to lose, what got you into this work?
I was a middle child, and you get told no enough, or you get called your stupid brother and your idiot sister's name long enough, and you say, you wait until it's Imogen's turn, and then you won't be saying Kathleen or Liam. You'll be saying, it's Imogen. It's Imogen.
You were called by your siblings' names growing up?
Yes, I was just, you there was often what I was called, and I said, no longer.
Right. It does seem like you have something to prove and are very concerned about your own legacy. What would you like, other than this is a person who didn't take no for an answer, what would you like Imogen Shemp's legacy to be?
I would say Imogen Shemp's legacy should be, wow, she really did that.
Now, that could be taken a number of ways,
Sure, but they'd only take it the good way. They'd only take it the good way, Dean.
Oh, okay. Because if it's in print, sometimes people don't know what the tone of the statement is. So if it's something that nebulous, then people could assign the wrong value to it.
They won't. When you know, they won't.
Great. And what is the response been? I know there's part of the wall has already been built, right? And so what has the response in those communities been like?
Yeah. Negative mostly. There's been a lot of spray paint on the concrete parts, and a lot of it says no. And so then we have our team go out there with matching cans, and they write "way!" Exclamation point. Cool job. FlagStrong, and so they write that underneath, so everybody has the right message, and
Gotcha.
none of this other trash.
The thing about the word no is you don't really know who's writing it, the Mexicans or the Americans, because it's the same in both languages.
Yeah, right. It is the same.
And the other thing that's been sort of talked about is that your company has taken billions of dollars to build this wall, and then almost immediately after it was pieces of it were erected, it was proven by people how easy it was to either get over or cut through. And I wonder if you could speak to that.
Right. Well, we needed the money. And people have shown great feats of strength, that they are very strong and can climb a wall. And while we are impressed, we are not enthused. So now we'll be using what's left of the money for very legitimate reasons that I am, you don't have to worry about. But
are those legitimate reasons to go back and refortify the wall in some other way that it can't be broken through? Or
no, we don't do the same work twice. It's just now we're moved on to something else.
Okay, and you're not at liberty to say what that is, then.
I'm not at liberty to say, and if you continue to press me on it, Dean, it's not a threat, but I can tell you won't love the outcome.
I wouldn't want to press you on it, but I think my listeners would be interested to know if the additional funds that are in that package that you receive from the government would be embezzled, and I hate to say that word, but for other uses that the taxpaying public is not aware of.
Embezzled is an ugly word. Would you say it's an ugly, nasty
absolutely is.
word?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's been embezzled because that sounds illegal.
Right.
But if you say repurposed, it sounds fun.
Repurposed. That's see, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I didn't mean to call you an embezzler, of course.
Yeah, I'm not one.
Yeah. No, of course.
I'm not one.
You're angling your haircut at me. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the way you kind of...
Do you see the point?
You put your head down and I'm suddenly feeling very intimidated by the angle of your hair.
It looks like a shark's fin if you get the right angle.
It sure does. It sure does. Well, folks, my second guest today can get you from point A to point B with a smile and a complimentary mint. But before we get to that, let's pause and hear a quick word from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The Corporation is brought to you by Vermont Comedy Club, currently offering online classes and live streaming Zoom entertainment like kids' comedy shows at 1 p.m. on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and Quarantine, the interactive game night on Thursdays at 7:30, as well as a late-night-inspired Instagram live show called Talk to Us, Please. Actually, on a recent episode of that show, the musical guest was Mark Daly of the Vermont band Medela, and we just wanted to give a plug for their new album called West. It just dropped yesterday, and man, it is delightful. So visit vtcomedy.com and musicofmedela.com for all this fun stuff, and stay safe out there. Now, back to the show. And we're back. We've been talking with Imogen Shemp from FlagStrong, and now I'm going to bring my second guest into the conversation who works for a totally different subsidiary of Hogswood-Cooper. He's a driver for CoatTailz, one of the leading companies in the exciting ride-sharing space. Each week, using his own personal vehicle, he shuttles dozens of people where they need to go using a state-of-the-art iPhone app. In his downtime, he likes to paint garden gnomes. Please welcome Jackson Heffpot, everybody. Hello, Jackson.
Hey, Dean.
Hey.
How's it going?
I'm doing very well, and you're out there doing your thing, even though you know, probably fewer people are using rideshare apps now as we're all sheltering in place. But
yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Nobody wants a ride.
Nobody. So you're not doing a whole lot of business at all then?
No, I'm just driving around right now, just looking for people.
Yeah,
shouting out my window.
What kind of vehicle do you drive?
I drive a 1994 Acura Integra.
Okay, nice.
It's got a CD player in the trunk.
Yeah, I can remember a day.
Two-door, though.
I can remember a day when that car was it. Like that was the it car.
Dean, I think it's still it.
Yeah, it's still running well for you, I guess. That's good. That's good. I mean, it's good because the company, CoatTailz is famous for, they do make the driver pay for all of the upkeep on their own personal vehicles. Mm-hmm. There's no help.
Which is fair. I think that's fair. Right. It's my car, right?
Absolutely.
It's my car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving around. I should pay for gas.
Right.
I should pay for flat tires,
Sure.
Seems fair.
And you obviously, it's funny because, we do a little pre-interview here and you had said in the email that you love driving and would do it for free.
Absolutely. I do it for free sometimes. I especially in these trying times, I donate 100% of my paycheck.
Oh, okay.
To CoatTailz. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to like a nonprofit.
No, CoatTailz. Yeah. CoatTailz. Well, they need it,
Do they? Is there anything, have you seen any evidence to the fact that anybody at CoatTailz is personally affected by this pandemic or that they're struggling financially in a way that...
God. Yeah, I have. This is tough, but some of my bosses, and I have many bosses. I have several. I mean, some of them.
I thought this was kind of a bossless idea, but I guess
no. Dean, it's
so you actually report to people, like you call people up and report to them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm constantly reporting them. And the other day, 3 of my bosses could not pay to keep their pools heated.
Wow.
And that's rough.
That's wrong. That's just wrong.
And Dean, I moved out of my apartment. Mm-hmm. I live in my car now. I live where I work.
Is that so?
And I'm doing what I can. I want to help those people get those pools back up to.
Well, you know what they say. When you live where you work, you never. Mm-hmm.
Never work a day in your life.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. It does seem like the company is, it's certainly over the last few years has taken more and more of a commission while also driving fares down. What was once a $20 ride might now be a $10 ride. But that's just capitalism, right? Sometimes you have the loss leader of the first few years of a company, and then you have to start actually making money, right?
And I'm just, they started this program where they thought, let's see what the drivers are thinking. And I was actually one of the first people to suggest, pay us less.
Oh, were you? Oh,
yeah.
So other CoatTailz drivers then have you to thank.
Oh, they were, yeah. And they thanked me in very interesting ways.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Do
you have, again, didn't think the drivers had much connection with one another, but do you talk to the other drivers on CoatTailz?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. We pull up to each other in parking lots, and you know.
Well, that makes sense too, because I have heard that there is like a glut of drivers out, because what will happen is they'll do a surge price, everyone will go out, and then the surge price will end, and then you'll all be sitting out there waiting for nobody. So you are sitting at those places next to each other.
Sometimes we're racing.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, the streets are pretty empty right now, so
they're very empty. It's great. It's great. So we will race around, and I'm really bad at racing. I should start by saying that I'm not good. I don't like driving too fast.
Well, you've got a car that's quite old, so don't beat yourself up too much. I bet you'd be a better racer with with a more modern car, maybe.
Oh God, you know what? I don't think I've done enough to deserve a new car. I don't think.
I mean, I know that they're about to roll out this new program at CoatTailz where they will provide the loan for you to buy a new car. They'll provide the financing for you. And while some journalists have, written about how this is, I think the word was unconscionable and predatory. Maybe that's a way that you could get a newer car, or maybe even through the company that way.
It just doesn't feel right, not with those pools. Not with those pools going down in temperature, getting too cold.
Oh, but what I'm saying though is if you buy a car through the company, with their loan, then they will be making plenty of money off of you for interest and stuff, right? So you
I would help them?
You'd be giving back through the exorbitant interest rate of buying a new car through them.
Maybe I could buy a couple cars then.
Okay.
And that's how I really pitch in and help.
Sure.
That's how I pull up my belt straps.
Yeah, pull yourself up by your belt straps.
Exactly. Tighten my belt straps, pull myself up. Exactly. Seatbelts. I always wear my seatbelt.
I'm sure you do. We've gotten way off track here. I've realized you never got to tell me what the other drivers are saying to you in the parking lots. For suggesting that your fares be lowered.
All right. Well, they have this funny joke going where they throw garbage at my car.
Oh, that's funny.
And they stick burning newspaper in the gas tank. And one time I was sleeping, and because I live in my car now, I was sleeping in my car, and they put they clogged up the exhaust pipe. It was like a funny joke.
Okay,
like a funny joke. They really, God, those guys like me, I think. And the garden gnomes that I keep on the roof of my car, a bunch of them, I guess they liked them so much they just decided to take them.
Oh, okay.
And and they just I think I work with some real klutzes, though, because I wake up and I get out of my car to stretch in the morning, and there's just broken, shattered gnomes everywhere. And so I guess they see one and they get so excited, which I get.
Sure.
I can't think of anything more exciting than a freshly painted lawn gnome.
That's incredible. Wow. I mean, it's nice, though, that people, they have an appreciation for all the work, the fine work that goes into creating those gnomes. Imogen, if you have anything to add here, I want to make sure we wrap you in here too, because this is all one big conversation here. But I also like to create cross-pollination kind of efforts if possible. I don't suppose you ever need a ride anywhere. I think Jackson's your man if that's the case.
Oh, that's very nice of you. I would never put my body into something made in 1994. I'm driven around in a Lincoln, so thank you. Thank you so much for the offer. But Jackson, I do think it's super admirable that you gave up your pay to keep the pools warm. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think to myself, like, who will help these rich people in this time? Like, who will help them? Because no one's helping them. No, and
that's true. Yeah,
it's breaking my heart.
I mean,
it's absolutely true.
All of the aid is just going to middle class,
the wrong
and
places,
small
if you
businesses,
ask.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, what are they?
My friends and I were just talking about that last weekend during our finger food soiree, where 150 of my finest friends.
You had a finger food soiree with 150 people during a pandemic?
Yes, it doesn't apply to us. We're fine.
Gotcha. Cool. So you're all touching each other. You're touching small amounts of food and putting it in your mouth.
Yes, I'm putting it. Yes, no forks allowed. It's a fork-free party. It's our favorite one. We have it every year.
Do you ever think, I'm sure you already have a driver for your private car there, Imogen, but, if you ever need a second one, or you, if I were you, I would be looking at Jackson thinking, now this is someone who would be loyal to me and my company, right?
I've thought of other purposes possibly for Jackson.
Other purposes? What would you, how would you repurpose Jackson for your own use?
We're always looking for new bulldozer drivers.
Oh, wow. Have you ever driven a bulldozer, Jackson?
Now, I have not, but...
You don't need to.
I sometimes plow people's driveways. When it snows, I plow people's driveways with my 1994 Acura Integra.
That sounds inefficient to me. Is that possible?
It is.
You don't have a plow on it. There's no plow on it.
Oh, no. No, I duct tape a bunch of shovels to the front.
It's perfect. That kind of ingenuity will take you not far, but far enough.
I'm assuming also, Imogen, it sounded like what you were about to say there, with the bulldozer is that, it doesn't sound like every shift on the bulldozer is a driving shift. It sounds like some of them are idling and playing very loud national anthem music, to force people off their land. There's that shift too, right?
There's driving. There's
CDL for that.
There's the song shift, and there is a combo. There is a combo shift where you drive and play songs.
Wow. I'm sure that's just, is that a tactic? I mean, is that something, I'm sure there are people on the Mexican side of the wall there that are hearing that patriotic music and seeing that wall go up, and they've got to just feel like they've got to get the message that this is a closed border by all of that, don't they?
I think everyone understands safety and patriotism. I think it knows no language barrier.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't circle back and talk about your personal hobby there, Imogen. It sounds like you're making you're sewing your own little doll clothes, huh?
Yes, I am. I buy all the dolls off of the Home Shopping Network. Every single doll I see, I say, I'll take 3. And then they are delivered to my large home. And the first thing I do is say, these outfits are terrible. I can do better. And then I sew them something better. Mm-hmm.
Now, Imogen, suppose I had a turtle living in an aquarium in the passenger seat of my home/car.
Disgusting, okay?
Could you perhaps make some kind of sweater for that turtle?
Don't turtles come with a sweater? Isn't that...
Not this one.
Okay. You have a shellless
your turtle doesn't have a shell?
He does not have a shell. No, it's quite sad.
Okay, that is sad.
So you've got more of a home living in your car than your turtle does.
The car is his shell.
I mean, yours and his, I suppose.
And his. Wow, Dean, I never really thought of it like that. But I guess it is
turtle shell is what you live in with your shellless
Jackson.
turtle.
Well, now that you say it, it is green and brown on top. Mm-hmm. And it has a red belt around it.
The car does.
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
So your car is like a driving turtle. What happens when a customer gets into the car and sees your shellless turtle?
Well, so that's the thing. I don't know how familiar you are with the 1994 Acura Integra, but it's a 2-door.
Okay.
So I take my turtle, Kevin.
Yep.
I put him on my lap. I slide the passenger seat all the way up to the front.
Yep.
Passenger gets in the back. Slide the seat all the way back because Kevin likes room. Put the tank back.
Okay.
Drive
it's a
them.
process.
And then I got it's a bit of a process.
And how would having a sweater for Kevin help?
I think he would shiver less.
He shivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a shell.
Yeah.
Jackson, if I may. Yes. I'm not one to tell people what to do, but I am one to suggest it menacingly.
I am one to do what people tell me.
Suggest menacingly. Is that?
And I could absolutely make Kevin a whole wardrobe of clothes. In fact, I could make them for you too. But the thing is, you have a sweater. Why not be a bigger person and give one of your sweaters to Kevin, and then you can be the shellless turtle. But you won't even really be one because your 1994 disgusting Acura will be your shell.
Wow.
Have you ever thought of that? I mean, you've given up so much, Jackson. Would you consider giving up your own wardrobe to your turtle?
I thought I had given everything up. And at this point, I'm realizing I have so much more to give.
So much more to give.
So much more.
There's always more. There's always more we can give. You've just been so fixated on helping your bosses and the people who run CoatTailz that you haven't even thought about the life you're sharing with your turtle.
Oh, God, no. It's my turtle. Here are my priorities.
Yeah.
My bosses.
Yep. My
turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Then everybody else.
Yeah.
And then me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the way it should be, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. So So real quick here, you mentioned your gnomes, but I mean, that's got to be like a time-consuming hobby for you. You're both kind of crafty, it sounds like. You're sitting in your car, presumably for hours on end, painting these, like painstakingly painting these little miniature garden gnomes, and then sticking them to the roof of your car. Yeah.
Spray paint.
Mm-hmm. So the windows are rolled up, and you're using spray paint.
Well, I got to roll them up tight. Yeah.
How does Kevin handle that? The not being, is he? Are you worried that you're asphyxiating him with your?
I mean, he does get dizzy from time to time.
So he shakes. Andy's dizzy. Yeah.
I'm. He wanders around in his tank, kind of walks away.
Does the tank have water in it?
Oh no! I gave up my water for the pools.
Okay, so there was a shortage of water too, not just heated water.
It's newspaper.
Yep.
Shredded newspaper. Okay. And a bunch of my shredded money.
Oh, you shredded up your own money. Okay.
Why? He's got to stay warm, right? He gets so cold without. His shell.
I mean, it's remarkable when I picture what I'm picturing right now. I'm picturing that you in this car is very much like Kevin in this tank. You know what I mean? Like you're living amongst a bunch of refuse, shivering in the cold, barely covered by anything. And so is Kevin right next to you in a little small miniaturized world of that.
Wow. I didn't realize how many parallels there were between me and Kevin.
Yeah, you guys have a lot more in common than you think. It's just fascinating. And this is why I love this podcast. I just love just delving into people's lives and finding out more about them. Imogen, before we go here, maybe you give us a status report on the wall and when you expect it to be complete and we can expect to be fully secure in our southern border.
Well, we need a lot more money if we're gonna get the job done. We always need more money. So,
Imogen, I would like to help.
Good.
I would like to help. I want to donate my next several months' salary.
Okay, no one's asking you to do that, Jackson.
I am asking, and I'll tell you what else I'm asking, Jackson, is do me one better. Tape up that turtle money and send it my way.
Okay, I'm going to get right on that. I'm going to tape it up. I'm going to send it right to you.
Wow, okay.
Thank you.
Well...
I have to get my hair cut. I have to go.
Okay, great. So I guess that's the signal that that's about all the time we have for today on The Corporation. I want to thank my guests for speaking with me and our listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and email me at deanardenfell@hotmail.com. And remember, Dean Ardenfell is not and has never been an employee of Hogswood-Cooper Media or any of its subsidiaries. Cheers.
The Corporation is a presentation of Unicow Media. Dean Ardenfell was played by Nathan Hartswick, Imogen Shemp was played by Laura Manasewich, and Jackson Heffpot was played by Angus MacDonald. Subscribe to hear new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. For more great stuff, follow The Corporation Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and check out thecorporationpod.com.